Hello everybody, this is the Astral Tourist. It's Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I hope everybody is having a fantastic week so far. Early this morning I had some spontaneous astral projections, so let's get right to that. Sometimes they're just spontaneous. I don't always feel the exit. I remember I was even wondering if I would go back to sleep or not, or just get up, and I thought I'll just close my eyes for a moment. That used to be one of my older tricks that I used to use, rather than the remember to remember. But sometimes I still go back to it, and way back when I would struggle more with astral projection and getting control of it, I spontaneously AP a lot, but to do it in the controlled way, I really had to work at it for quite a while when I was younger. And one of my old tricks was just for a moment. If I can just pop out for that moment, which is all it really takes, then I'm good to go for a lot more moments. I was trying that, and I remember I just kind of fell asleep instead. But then I was kind of popping all over the place. So in one of these places, I was talking with a woman who was showing me a book. And she was trying to explain to me that this book is its own other dimension. It wasn't like an Akashic Records book. It was a dimension of its own that a person had made. And it was called A Walk in the Clouds. And it didn't really say much on the cover. There was just this nice super neon 3D picture of some clouds. And I thought that sounded like a peaceful one to try. She had been trying to tell me about some other books with involved stories, and I wasn't sure about those or if I could remember them. So I thought I'll stick with an easier book or an easier dimension, because she's trying to tell me this is on many different levels. This is not just a book about dimensions. It's its own dimension. And so I was kind of excited just to try that and keep it simple. So what you do with books like these, or what I do, is sometimes I just touch them and phase into them. You go inside the book. Akashic books can work like this too, only they tell more the story. And but for now I'm going to stick to talking about this one book in particular. And as I phased into it, sure enough, I was in the sky. There were clouds. It had a really nice feeling to it, like totally higher dimensional, I don't know, 5D, 6D, 7D, I don't even know. It was quite blissful. There was a lot of light. And right there in the middle of the whole scene and of the puffy clouds and everything, there was a man there that looked like he was kind of from medieval times. He had a big hat on. He had the feather. Not quite as big as the feather I had in my other astral projection, which was really fun. But it looked like he had a picnic basket set out there. It was kind of wicker. It looked like wicker. And he had some kind of food spread out on this blanket that looked like it was a striped blanket. I think it was red and white stripes. It wasn't a huge blanket, but he welcomed me to the area and everything. He explained that this was his space to think and do music. And through the music, he would expand into different dimensions in this place. And it would open up, and it was just, he made it sound very beautiful. But then he explained he's not doing the music right then. He's just relaxing and enjoying contemplation. He liked having company, so I chat with him for a few minutes. I thought I would go explore some more and see what else was in this dimension, but he said there really wasn't much more until he started doing the music. So it was rather small without all the music he was going to do. By small, I mean, I don't know, maybe 10 miles. as far as the eye could see. He kind of described it as a curved area where it would be spherical if I kept going to the end of it, and then I would just exit the book if I did that, or I could just exit kind of along the side, which is where I entered, I guess. He was making it sound like I entered from the side, and from his perspective, maybe I did, but I just remember going in through the front of the book, like the top, by placing my hand and then shifting into it. He seemed really nice. He had some curly brown hair. I don't know what country he was from. I didn't think to ask. But that was that experience. I phased on out of the book. And I don't remember much what happened after that for a while. And then I have flashes of memory from the next astral projection where I was checking the time, which I like to do because if I'm not sure if I'm dreaming or astral projecting or if I'm awake, but I'm pretty sure I'm dreaming or astral projecting, I love to look at clocks because they'll say different things and they don't hear for me. So one of the clocks I looked at didn't even have any hands, and I was pretty suspicious about that one. I thought, okay, I better keep looking at some more clocks. And another one said it was about 20 minutes after 9 a.m. I thought, well, I don't sleep in that long, so I really must be astral projecting or lucid dreaming or something. And so I checked one more clock in that experience, and it said it was about 10 minutes to 7 a.m. And I thought that sounded more like the time for where I was, in the waking world. I know more happened. I remember there being other people around. I just don't remember the details. I lost it. Things faded out again. And here is the next one, which is way more interesting, I thought. This is the one where I was the UFO. So this happens routinely at times. Remember, if you're on another planet, you're the alien, right? You're the ET, you're the visitor. But this time, I wasn't even on another planet, I don't think. Anyway, I appeared and became aware when I was flying around in some beautiful snowy mountains. Just amazing. This is something I love to do in the astral. Just get up there, put on the 360, tour around, enjoy nature. Nature at its core is just so healing. And I can just be snoozing away in the physical and just soaking in the beauty and flying around, minding my own business. So happy. And that's what I was doing, just zooming around in the mountains, enjoying the view. These were some really rocky looking mountains. Like I could see some of the rocks and cliffs coming through the snowy areas, but I didn't recognize the mountain range. So I wish I could have. I'm just not sure exactly where it was, but it sure looked like, earthy kinds of mountains to me. And I'm just, again, going around in here, and there's like this beautiful caldera, but I can't see all the way to the bottom. So I'm just focusing more on the cliffs and the mountains themselves. And this huge helicopter goes zooming by me. And I thought, okay, I guess that was just a near miss. There could be others around in the area, no big deal. But then it starts kind of circling back. And this thing is huge. It looks maybe like a huge metallic helicopter from, I'm not an expert in helicopters, but maybe like an older one, like maybe from the 1950s. That's a guess. It could be like from the 30s or I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. But it was huge, like maybe even like an aircraft carrier type helicopter. It didn't have any special markings that I could tell, but he began to kind of circle me as I was flying around. And then I noticed he was circling in a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And I wasn't really sure how I felt about that, so I thought I'd just get out of his range for a while. You know, I went a bit lower down into the mountains, off to the side in my semi-wispy form, flying around. And, you know, I left him way up high there. And so I was way down and over to the side. And then, slowly enough, he makes his way down and over to where I had first gone there. So then I went off to a whole different area. He does the same thing, and then he starts to really circle in a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and the helicopter tips, the angle tips, and I could see the blades, and they looked really, really sharp. And he's circling faster and faster, really honing in on me with these super sharp blades. And I had to keep reminding myself as he got closer and closer in there on me, that I kept telling myself, remember, the blades can't really do anything to you. You're all misty. What can they do? Nothing. Just wake me up. They can't even hurt. But I felt the force of them a few times as he was really close to me. And so I was wondering, what is going on here? I'm just minding my business, having some fun in the mountains, you know? And I hear this broadcast, this telepathic broadcast, but it sounded really super mumbled, and it sounded like it was in another language. I'm not even sure if I could identify the language if I heard it again, because it was that mumbled. But I don't think it was English at all. And he just kept doing this and coming in and coming in. And the blades were like going through my misty form. And I knew that they couldn't hurt me, and they weren't, because I knew that. Like, if you go into fear, you might start feeling pain. So that's one of the challenges of astral projection. Never give in to that fear, because your mind will make it. It'll make it the pain. But if you can stay chill and calm and happy, then you're good. And remember, you can always just wake yourself up. But I was really curious at this point. Like, this guy worked so hard to find me and to keep honing in on me. And I'm saying it's a guy because I found out later it was a man. So what happens next is I just kind of feel like I'm being pulled along by the force of the blades to just ease along with the helicopter. Kind of like I was being towed. So I decided to go along with it because, again, super curious now. And he's not going to leave me alone to go flying, so I might as well find out what's up. So I'm like getting towed, basically, even though there was no line or anything like that put out there. It was just the air from the blades and just moving along with the helicopter. And eventually we come to this building that's lit up. Not a very large one this time, just like home size, I guess, but without a roof. It looks like it's just a home inside the mountain somewhere, even. And I feel like this push, and I'm pushed into this lit up room where there's a woman and a young man in there, but they don't look very lucid. And out the side of the place, like, there's this window, a long window, long rectangular. And I see the helicopter going down in there into some underground part of this facility. So I'm like, okay, he's parking the helicopter. He's pushed me into this room with these people that are not very lucid. But it doesn't look like such a bad place, you know. It's a nice looking place overall, very neat. The woman was wearing a dress, just taking care of the young man. I think it was her son. And there's a back door in the room, and he comes in through there, takes off his helmet. That's when I first really see that it's a man. And he's got some messy, darkish blonde hair. not curly, kind of straight, but all messed up a little bit. And I asked him what was going on. And he said he's supposed to investigate unidentified flying objects. And that's what I had looked like to him. And I was still a little riled up from the whole thing with the blades. So I kind of chastised him a little bit. And I was telling him, hey, you could really frighten people with those sharp blades getting so close and everything. And then it occurred to me, like, as soon as I said that, and I asked him, were you trying to wake me up? I don't know why it took it that long to occur to me, but it did. And then he's just standing there like, I'm just doing my job. And so I understood. And he said, you can go anytime. You're fine. I just had to investigate. So apparently I'm no threat to whatever's going on over there. Maybe there's something more, a deeper facility or something, some secret experiment. I don't know, but apparently I don't matter to them, so I could leave. And I did. I left, but I woke up not too long afterwards. So that's my experience. Just keep in mind when you're astral projecting, others out there are going to be curious about you. And a lot of times you're the UFO. You're the unidentified flying object, especially when you're on a whole other world. Even though I wasn't this time, I don't think. I still was an unidentified flying object to this person, and apparently he's in charge of guarding something in that area, and he had to investigate me because I was hanging around enjoying those mountains. So anyway, it was nice. I had my fun. He was just doing his job, so good for him. And no harm done. Overall, I had a really nice time. And I woke up around 7:30 a.m. after those 3 experiences. So that's how time was like for me this time. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Please like and subscribe. Happy travels.